How do I say goodbye to one Brandon Ingram? The good times and the bad. So cue my music.
This is the Pelicans Scoop with Jordan Kitchens, breaking down everything under the sun about your New Orleans Pelicans. Smash that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of your Pels content. Now, running point, here's Jordan.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host with the most, Jordan Kitchens, and ladies and gentlemen, sound the alarms. It is finally over. You're on there like, well, you clicked on this video. You're aware of what's going on. You know what the hell is going on. Brandon Ingram has officially been traded from the New Orleans Pelicans to a team that, I mean, we kind of seen it. You know, it was rumored about the Raptors. I was really more buying into the Hawks news a little bit more. Maybe the Warriors were desperate enough, but they ended up getting Jimmy Butler. So at that point, it was the Toronto Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm assuming some type of soft bidding war because the deal you got back, it was pretty soft. So we're going to break all that down, ladies and gentlemen. So how you guys doing, man? I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my singing in the beginning. So let's just kick this off. I just want to start with this. Before we even go into the Brandon Ingram trade, before we even dive into all the nitty-gritty, I just want to get this flat out from the jump. Brandon, we appreciate you here in New Orleans. You know, granted, it didn't work out towards the end necessarily. That 1 year we made the playoffs with you, with the lead guys, Zion on the bench. So I always appreciate it, what you did, but it was just time. It was just time for it to go. It was just time for us to go our separate ways. It was never it was never we hate Ali. It was never no hate. It was just the way the direction of the team going, you just, we pay and trade, you just don't fit no more, my guys. So hopefully you can get paid in Toronto and enjoy your greener pastures. Nah, let's dive into it. So the Pelicans traded Brandon Ingram last night to Toronto Raptors for an expiring contract and Bruce Brown. I was about to call him Bruce Bowen. Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick and a second-round pick. I'm going to go look up who that second-round pick, but I know for a fact that first-round pick is the 2026 Indiana Pacers first-round pick, and I think it's top 4 protected. So that's a pretty good – first of all, let me just say this. That's a good pick necessarily because you ended up getting a first-round pick back for Brandon Ingram. You didn't think that was going to happen. All right, so somehow, some way, the Pelicans were able to get a first-round pick for Brandon Ingram. But this is still a C- trade at best. Because if you look, you get Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, but if you just would have traded Brandon Ingram when you needed to trade him, once you already knew in your mind you was going to pay Trey Murphy his money and Brandon Ingram declined that so-called 50 a year deal. It was like 4 years, 50, something, 200, something, whatever. When he declined that and wanted to bet on himself that he can make more money than that, command more money than that. You should have let him go back then, because back then we was talking about trading Brandon Ingram for Kevin Durant and Karl Anthony Towns, and we was doing all this high class shopping. We was at the Gucci store looking at all this Gucci when we really should have been at Gap. Nothing against Gap, because y'all seeing I got a Gap hoodie, but Gap ain't Gucci. Gap ain't Gucci. So we was doing all this high price selling. Like, man, you waited too long, and that's just been the story of David Griffin, because also they had to get rid of Daniel Tice yesterday. If y'all remember in the video I dropped yesterday about Brandon Ingram, I said the Pelicans had a deal to get under the luxury tax, but the Pistons apparently ended up being with the Oklahoma City Thunder. No surprises there. They are just they're the loan sharks of the NBA, and you had to give draft compensation. So David Griffin he might have like this fetish with giving away draft pick, second round picks, just emptying the war chest, and you have nothing to show for it. That's why the Brandon Ingram trade is a C at best. Granted, you didn't let him walk for nothing, so that's why it's a C. Because if you just would have let him walk for nothing, or if you just would have paid him some money, you didn't have to. Just because you pay him doesn't mean it's gonna make the team. Doesn't mean he's not going. He's still a non-available. I guess I can call him a franchise guy, but he was non-available. That's my biggest gripe with him and Zion. They're not available. So there's not no, well, man, look, finally Brandon's gone, so you guys can see how, like, dude, this ain't no Brandon versus Zion thing, man. Honestly, it's more of a you're in Trey's way, and this needs to be Like Trey's the 3. Trey is like he fits better with Zion, even though he ain't been winning. The Pelicans ain't been winning all season. They wasn't winning when Brandon was in the lineup either. So we're not gonna act like they were just so much better this season with Brandon in the lineup and not with Zion. Like this team just needs to have somebody that is here, that is actually playing games, that is actually on the court. On the court. That's all I want. It's just somebody that's on the court. But the problem is this trade is a C right now, kind of a C minus. It could low-key be a D plus, because you trade for Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk. Bruce Brown's on an expiring contract. These are two guys that can like the trade deadline's over today at 3 p.m. This video, you'll probably be watching this video at like 10 a.m. I'm gonna try and get out as soon as possible. So the trade deadline, it's not over yet. CJ McCollum could still potentially go. Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown might not even play a single minute for the Pelicans because they might flip them for second-round picks. You never know. Because when you see Bruce Brown on expiring a contending team right now could use a Bruce Brown. You just saw what he did for the Nuggets for their championship run. And Kelly Olynyk is finally a stretch 5 that the team needs. He's on the contract for this year and next year. They still might move him too. So we're looking at guys that probably, honestly, the deal was just the picks when I'm looking at it, because those guys are still interchangeable. I would like to keep Kelly Olynyk. I would like to keep Bruce Brown. But if you're going to keep Bruce Brown, you got to get rid of Javonte Green, because they're kind of the same guy, and Bruce Brown's just a better version of Javonte Green. And Kelly Olynyk, you need him. Even though Carlo played amazing last night against the Nuggets. Well, I thought. I can say amazing, but Carlo, his rebounding, his energy, he hit a 3. Finally, you're playing him. It's all about playing him. Eve Messi, so you could use a stretch 5, especially to go with Zion out there and Trey, space the floor out, can really dive into that. I ain't going to say a 5 out. It will be kind of a 5 out. So we'll see what the Pelicans do about lineups moving forward. I mean, I think you have the blueprint right now. You're already terrible. Just keep doing what you're doing. It ain't like you're winning. Just keep doing what you're doing, letting Trey and Zion get the chemistry together. Keep, building that, seeing a 2-man game. They both dropped over 25 last night against the Nuggets. I mean, it's the Nuggets. The Nuggets put up damn near 200 points. But, at least we're playing with, like, pace and actually seeing plays ran. So that was a sight to see. Right now, you better get your popcorn ready, because now we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty. What I really hope, if you made it to this far in the video, this is where the real. So if you made it this far, this is what we're going to really dive into it. I didn't want the fake fans and the everybody that was trying to get in. They probably clicked out the video, yeah. Now I know this is really the diehards right here. Guys, we got to talk about this. So the Anthony Davis trade was in 2019. All right, you make that trade. It's 2025, and you have nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. So this tweet was tweeted by George Hathaway on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. So let's look back at the Anthony Davis trade. Pelicans received, Lakers got Anthony Davis, obviously. Pelicans received Brandon Ingram, who's now on the Raptors, Lonzo Ball, who's now on the Bulls, Josh Hart, who's on the Knicks, 3 first-round picks. 3, and these were the first-round picks. Jackson Hayes, who's on the Lakers, so you basically drafted him for the Lakers, even though Jackson Hayes is not a needle mover. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, who's on Minnesota. Granted, Nikhil helped you get CJ McCollum. Didi Louzada, if y'all remember Didi Louzada, the guy from Brazil. Yeah, he's not in the NBA. Herb Jones, salute to Herb Jones. Dyson Daniels, who's on the Hawks. Who's a pick swap. 1 pick swap. Yeah. That right there is enough to get David Griffin fired. That right there should that right there, and then just the constant lack of urgency out of him. He is the guy that'll sit there and wait for things to go bad before it's time to move him. Your bench should have moved Brandon Ingram when his value was his highest. You wait till he gets hurt and has a terrible season to try and move him where his value is at its absolutely lowest. The man hasn't played basketball in it feels like 3 months, and you had to get rid of him. Granted, you got rid of him, so you didn't end up in a situation where you got him for nothing. You end up getting the first-round pick out of him. Congrats, salute, but brother, you failed. You failed. Lakers ended up getting the ring. As a matter of fact, Lakers ended up getting the ring and then used Anthony Davis to get Luka Doncic. You failed. You used Brandon Ingram to get Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown. You failed. Granted, it's not all your fault, but these are your guys because, so my guy, Christian Clark, who doesn't even work for the Pelicans, then kicked him out of the building, then kicked him out the media, and so now he works for the Dallas Mavericks. But shout out to Christian Clark. He was down when he was down and out. You're on the greener pastures a little bit. like I said, you are in greener pastures. The Mavericks are definitely, even though Nico, but Christian Clark had to chime in last night, and he goes, in their 5.5 seasons as teammates, Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram played 154 games together. That equates to a little under 2 seasons. That's not even 2 full NBA seasons. That's how many games they played together in 6 seasons. 5.5. Yeah, let's call it 6. Let's just call it 6. Let's just call it 6 so we can make the number sound worse. Let's call it 6. That's what they played in 6 seasons together. Wow. So, Griff, you had to make a move. You're sitting there. So, you're down because your bench should have made the move and you thought you can try and squeeze water from a rock and you found out you couldn't. So, now you got to trade this depleted rock that had so much value at one point. We was talking about trading this man for like Evan Garland and Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. We talking big dogs. Man, you should have been in that clearance rack getting Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown. At least you got a first-round pick. It's top four protected, but we don't expect the Indiana Pacers to be terrible next year. They shouldn't be, unless everybody knees just fall off their bodies. What does this mean for the Raptors necessarily? Because probably going to be some Raptors people watching this video. Y'all going to get a great 2-point scorer. He's okay on threes. You will like him to shoot more threes. Brandon Ingram, he's a how do I want to say this? I ain't gonna call him like a locker room guy, but he's a calming presence. He's got a little bit of killer mentality. He's clutch. It's clutch, but his shot profile a little bit, you might get a little upset with the shot profile. He takes a lot of hard contested shots, but at the same time, when they're going, it's amazing. When they're not, when he's missing, it's like, dude, you can get easier looks, bro. You don't have to take a spin around, hand in your face, contested two, bro. Like, you can go get a layup, man. You can go shoot a 3, man. You know, it's things like that. But Brandon Ingram is still a high caliber, high 20-point per game scorer. So how is that going to work with them and R.J. Barrett and Quickly and Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl? I don't know exactly how all that mixes, but, you know, your jury, the GM for the Raptors, he's a good GM. Like, he got Kawhi there. So, y'all not going to make that move unless y'all going to pay him. But you also have – it's weird. I'm not a Raptors fan. I can't tell you how the Raptors are going to work out. So, any Raptors fans watching this video, let me know, what do you guys think? That's really I can ask, because I don't really know what y'all gonna do, because I didn't see that he signed immediately. Like when Jimmy Butler got traded, he signed immediately and they gave him an extension immediately. So I guess they gotta see what he gonna look like, because he hasn't played much. So, but now Brandon Ingram, he's I just don't know how the dynamic gonna fit out there in Toronto. But if it's really Scotty team. I don't know. Let me just get off that. So let's just stay on the topic of David Griffin has just wasted all these assets. He's just wasted everything. Everything up until this point has just been a waste. You have nothing to show for it. And the Lakers got a ring and Luka Doncic. And you got Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk. But at least you got the only bright spot is at least you got a first-round pick. Granted, it is not the NFL. Like an NFL first-round pick means a lot more than a late 20s. So we're looking at a late 20s with the Pacers, maybe like 21, 22 area pick. Like I said, we don't expect the Pacers to be top 3 bad, so we should be able to keep the pick. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You had to make this move. You couldn't let him walk for nothing. You couldn't pay him. It's just a little anticlimactic because it's over. It's finally over. But it's like, damn, man, you waited so long. You could have got a nice steak, some potatoes, man, maybe a little red wine or something, but you ended up getting a Lunchable. You got a Lunchable, a soggy sandwich, bologna sandwich, not even ham and cheese, just bologna. Granted, some people might like a little bit more bologna, just a bologna sandwich, white bread, not toasted, so it's sticking to the top of your gums. You end up getting that. First-round pick, though, so I guess you could say with a new pair of socks. So you got a new pair of socks, a soggy bologna sandwich, and a can of sardines for Brandon Ingram. When you could have got a steak, potatoes, when you should have traded them when you're supposed to. When you already knew in your mind we were going to move forward with Trey, and we got to get this guy out of here. No, you tried to run it back thinking he was going to have it. No, man, just typical David Griffin. Like, he owed it, then he's in a situation where he has to deduct the luxury tax. You give up Tice. Don't grant. It's not like Tice is addition by subtraction. But the fact that you had to give up draft compensation to get rid of Tice, you had to give up draft compensation to get rid of Steven Adams. You got to give up draft compensation. You just got to give up draft to Devontae Graham. Trade four second round picks for Josh Richardson just for him to leave and just for him to get traded again yesterday from the Heat to I don't know where that. So you traded four second round picks for a journeyman. This is just a epic failure on David Griffin's part, but it's masqueraded because it was a move that needed to be done. I don't care what nobody says. The move had to be done, but the move should have been done. Been done. It's not like you waited too long. That was the problem. The move should have been done. Waited all this time, man. We should be done over the summer. Shouldn't even came to this point. You should even play the game for the Pelicans this season if you already knew you was gonna trade him. If you already knew that this was going to be the outcome. Everybody already knew this was going to be the final outcome was you're going to have to trade him, and you waited so long to where it was just depleted. So enjoy your soggy bologna sandwich, a Lunchable, and your new pair of socks. Enjoy it. But this is not like I said, this is not like I'm saying keep him because he had to go. He had to go. Move forward, Trey, Z. Now you don't have a point guard still. I hope we get Dylan Harper. I don't want Cooper Flag. Ace Bailey, cool. I really don't want. We need a point guard. You need to go in the next season with a point guard. Now you're still at square one. You're going to the season again without a point guard because just Devontae and not Devontae. Everybody named so Javante, DeGante. Like, oh my goodness, DeJounte is not going to be ready in the start of the season towards Achilles. So we shall see, man. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Brandon Ingram trade. What do y'all get the grade? My final grade for the trade, C-. C-. C+ if you can keep Olynyk around because you need a stretch five. C- at best. But it could have been an F if you would have kept him and maybe signed him to some you didn't want to sign him to. Or you could have just let him walk for nothing. So C- at best. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know. How do y'all feel, man? Just air it out. We're gonna talk about it in the comments, man. I'm gonna just get out of here, man. So I appreciate you guys for sticking for another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. I am your host of the most, Jordan Kitchens, and I'm signing out. Peace.